If you want to learn about pushing yourself to be greater than you know, this episode is for you.
Thanks, Prieur. Without your help, episodes like this wouldn't be possible.
And for our first live audience, we have special feature Thomas Murray. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. And Colin Campbell. Dun, 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 dun.
What's up, boys? Thank you for coming.
Friendship, first live audience. Hey, we're rolling.
Action.
Hey,
Ari, how's it going?
Hey, Steven. All right.
This is the worst start we've ever had. Fun fact.
Action. Welcome back.
Good week.
It's been a really good week.
Yeah.
I guess it's
welcome back as well. You were recently on a trip.
It's
good to have you back.
I was a guest on someone else's podcast, which felt weird. It was a little unnatural because I've gotten so used to being a co-host of our own podcast. And it was a lot of fun, though. It was cool to be interviewed, and it gave me a lot of good perspective on maybe how we could run this podcast better in the future.
Yeah.
So
been waiting for your notes.
Oh, yeah, don't worry.
I'm excited to get your notes.
You want me to give them to you right now?
No, I think we can wait.
All right. How do you feel about the last episode?
Last episode was great. I really enjoyed talking to Ferris. I liked his outlook and mindset on things. His story from Tokyo about the dream was insane. Like I love stories like that. But just we talked a bit about it after we left from filming that. I feel like we're benefiting more than others from our own podcast, just the little bits and takeaways that we can bring to our own careers, our own athletic careers, just times we need to get things done. And so I think talking about, giving 100% in as soon as you enter the room to practice, that's been a little reminder for me whenever I start to let off the gas a little bit just in the past couple of days. Like, all right, I'm a little tired. I'm going to take it easy. And then I hear his voice in my head and I push harder. So it's been, I've really enjoyed this process, and I hope that through all of our guests, we get little things to take away and just be better.
Me too. I hear you right now, Ferris. 100%.
100%. So without further ado, I guess we'll give 100% into this podcast.
Absolutely.
With a guest that we're both very excited to have on here.
Yeah.
Amazing fencing resume, amazing person, such a good time, good hang.
Yeah.
Friend of ours for a long time. I guess we'll get into the resume a bit, unless you have anything else to add.
No.
So he's a one-time individually, of course. If we added the team list into here, we would definitely be here all evening.
Absolutely.
So individually, one-time Pan American champion, 6-time U.S. national champion, 2-time NCAA national champion, 8-time World Cup medalist, 4-time Grand Prix medalist, 1-time Junior World Champion, 2-time Senior World Championship medalist, 2022 bronze, 2023 silver, 2024 Olympic bronze medalist, current world number 9, our former teammate from Notre Dame.
And your former roommate.
My former roommate. That's the biggest accomplishment is he survived that house. Nick Itkin.
Woo! Crowd goes wild.
Yeah, we got a crowd this time.
Yeah, our first crowd, our first live audience.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, Nikita.
Thanks, guys. I've known you guys for so long, so of course I'm gonna come support. We let it live together. I'm staying with you now, so obviously had to come say what up.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I mean, this is exactly what we hoped for when we started this. We wanted to create a players podcast where the fencers in the community at the high level can come and, shoot the shit with Steven and I. And it's exactly what we're getting. Our friends.
Yeah, finally. I feel like normally I'm going to have to be like formal, but I feel like with you guys, I'm going to just be like, just shooting the shit,
Yeah, just be yourself.
It sneaks up on you. You try to be a little more formal with this, is what I've noticed. But fight it, Nikita.
Okay,
just be yourself.
Yeah, we're going to try to be as not formal as possible.
Yeah.
I think usually we get overcome with some level of formality as well, but not today.
Not today.
Okay.
That being said,
take your shirt off.
we we do have a slight script or like a series of questions that we run through just so that the people listening get to know you outside of your resume. So we get to know you, in some ways better than maybe we did before. And just so that your story can get documented in 4K for everyone to see.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I think the important way to start off this podcast every single time is just tell us a little bit about yourself, your story of how you got into fencing, where you're from, and essentially just, your roots.
Yeah.
Share.
Well, I started fencing because my dad, obviously you guys know Misha pretty well.
Yeah.
He's used to fence for Ukraine, and then he moved to the U.S. About 30 years ago. Did a bunch of random jobs trying to make it in America, like American dream, and then ended up opening his own fencing club, which you guys all trained at. And he taught me when I was like 7, 8 years old. I played a bunch of sports, but eventually chose fencing. And went to school with you guys at Notre Dame, and then moved back to LA and training full time, and being a professional fencer.
Nice. So you tried other sports pre 7-8 or around the same time?
Yeah, no, I tried a bunch of sports. I stuck with fencing and tennis till I was like 12, 13, and then fencing kind of had the better results, so I had to stick with that one.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, I think you made the right decision. I mean, obviously tennis has a really high ceiling, but I think you're doing pretty all right in fencing.
Never mind. He answered my question. I was going to ask that.
Ask it again.
I was going to say why fencing. You said results, but like, did you enjoy the game more or tennis?
I feel like, I'm going to be honest, like when I was a kid, it was just results for sure. But once I got older, I feel like as a kid, like you just show up to practice. You don't really know what you're doing. But definitely when I got older, I started to appreciate the sport a lot more and everything it's given me. And I definitely like fell in love with the sport around like 16, 17. And that's when I really, really realized like how much it means to me.
Yeah. I before we ask the next question, I have a distinct memory of being at Notre Dame, and Game of Thrones was really, really popular. I think this was maybe the last season ever of Game of Thrones. It was coming out, and an episode had just released, and I went to the Jack, where we train, the Joyce Athletic and Convocation Center.
Thank you.
And, well, for people
that
was
good.
impressive.
No,
I don't know
I'm
the
saying.
full name of
Yeah,
that.
there
Wow,
we go.
okay.
The Jack.
No, I was good.
Yeah. This is an educational pod.
Absolutely.
So I went there. I didn't have a good TV in my house that I was living in. So two of our friends on the team, one of whom I'm now living with as a girlfriend, Dasha and Miriam Grady, we went to go watch an episode at the Jack. And it must have been 9 p.m. on probably a Sunday.
I think they came out on Sunday.
Yeah, they came out on Sunday. So it must have been like 9 p.m. on a Sunday. And we're in the Jack doing our thing, watching Game of Thrones, and we hear the door open, and it's Nikita. And you walk in, and we're like, oh, you coming to watch Game of Thrones? Nah, footwork. We watched the episode. Right around the end of the episode, they're about an hour long. Nikita's on his way out. Just came in on a Sunday, obsessed with the craft, did your work, get out. And I remember in that moment, and at that point, we had already been teammates for 2 years and 1.5 years, whatever. I'd already known that you operate on another level. I've seen it. I got to see it live. I got to see it at practice. I got to see it when we hung out and, played games or competed or did anything outside of practice. And I got to see it in competition. Yet that was the first time that I really understood that there were levels to this and that this man is coming in and getting your work done whenever. And that leads me into our next question of what was, if you can remember, your all-in moment where you decided that this is the thing that I'm going to do and I'm going to push myself to be the very best that I can be in fencing or in use fencing to be the best I can be in life, whatever it is. Because in that moment that I'm remembering, I think you were already all in. If you're showing up on a Sunday,
9 p.m.
alone, you didn't expect us to be there. You weren't showing off. You weren't trying to show us how dedicated you were. You were going to do that whether or not we saw you. Well, the tree was going to fall in the woods regardless. We just happened to hear it, So do you remember if there's a distinct moment where everything kind of came together for you, as in your mission became clear?
Mm-hmm. The real question is, how did you get into that jack room? Because that jack room closes around like 5, 6. No, right after practice ends. So 6:37 p.m.
I don't have my student ID on me. But if I had a student ID or a card, my wallet's somewhere else. Honestly, I should know where my wallet is. It's not here. But there's like a slit in the door. And if you push hard
close
enough,
your eyes.
Gia, I hope you're not listening to this. If you push hard enough, then that door you just go, and then after enough tries, it pops open, and then you can watch however many Games of Thrones episode as you want.
There was a lot of force required to do that too. You really had to like push the card.
Listen, man, the TV in my house was really bad, and there were snacks at the jack.
My bad. I didn't mean to not answer your question. So, I'll say definitely like around the time I told you I fell in love, like 15, 16. I feel like I was a decent fencer, but I was like at best like top 8, like at a neck. Like I wasn't like winning anything at all. At like international, maybe like 16, like 32. At best would be like an 8, which is great. Like like a lot of people who dream to make it there. But I just feel like in my life, like everything I was doing was like super average. Like I showed up to practice, I did everything, did my homework, but like my grades were average. Fencing was like good, but average. Like you can't make a career out of it. So everything like was going towards my path of like okay, but like not great. I don't know what college I would have ended up to, but my grades were definitely not good enough to go to like Notre Dame, for example. And I just like, I don't know if there was an exact moment, but I do remember like going to a training camp in Europe and like just realizing like this is either my chance, like either I have to make this senior team who's winning everything in the world. So it's not about making like 8s. It's about like winning like multiple tournaments, because that team was like unstoppable. Like Ray, Miles, Garrick, Alex. So either if I want to become a fencer, I have to beat those, like win tournaments and finish higher than those guys, or I go to college and focus on finance or something and be behind a desk and stuff all day. And if you know me, like that's just the last thing I could do. Like I can't sit still for more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
My mind just like wanders. So I do remember that's like an all or nothing moment. Like either I go make my dream come true, or I stick with like being average at everything I'm doing. So it's either like 200% or sticking like same process going on.
Well, I think you did a great job.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job. I think you're going to continue to do a great job. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
That's and it's tough too. Like that was a very real moment for you. Like this is how I'm gonna eat. Time to go get my food type of thing.
Brutally honest.
Yeah.
Brutally
we
honest.
talked about last week.
That's
be
exactly.
brutally honest with yourself sometimes, and I think shows incredible drive, maturity. Not in a traditional sense, but like to recognize that and to make that decision at a young age, like to have that, like, because I don't know, for me and Ari, it was always like, fencing's not going to pay the bills. Like we didn't have that, like,
it's because we didn't have that realization.
Or
fencing could have paid the bills.
Yeah, but
now we're paying for direct elimination.
But yeah, no, that's awesome that you were able to do that.
Thanks, man.
And it's great to hear, man.
Yeah, I mean, I really think like that motivation is like what pushed you to the next level. Like you said, like whatever, like fencing in the jack. Like I feel like my problem has always been like coming after a tournament where I'm doing really well to get that same drive and continuing throughout the whole year. I feel like that's really difficult for me because like I'm on a really high, and that drive, I'm still going to practice, but it's not the same when I'm like coming from nothing. Like after a really bad tournament or a series of really bad tournaments, that's like when I feel like my drive is so high. Even though I'm still showing up to training, it's like a different kind of training, I think.
We see it come out in competition. I think I think I definitely know that you take loss pretty hard. It depends on when you're losing in the tournament, but when it's like, and everyone has different standards, but for you, I feel like if you're losing in the 16 or earlier, that doesn't sit right with you. And usually, we in our group chat, we'll text you like, hey, we still love you, Nikita. Good job. And you're just like, thanks, guys. Next one's going to be it or something. And then you come out and you're just a demon at the next tournament. And that's always really cool to watch, honestly. And I think that, it's being that underdog or coming back from something, that narrative that you build up for yourself or ourselves, I guess, as people, it is really motivating. It's like any level of a comeback story, whether it's from an injury, which you've dealt with, or from a loss, or from anything. When you feel that you're coming back from something, climbing up, you're developing momentum, and that's super motivating.
Yeah. So I guess that kind of loops us into our next question segment, whatever you want to call it, which is, what's your why? Why? How do you keep that fire going? As you said, it's very easy after a high point in a career or after one good tournament to sort of rest on that, right? How do you stay motivated to keep yourself at this level, at this high performing level? Is it individual tournaments? Is it a mindset? Is it just that you love this life? Like what keeps you going and performing the way you do?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I'm still working on to this day. Like, for example, after the Olympics, like I was on such a high, and I felt like my life was like, so good, that like it was hard to like outperform that. Like each time you turn it to a tournament, like you dream of winning it, but after the Olympics, it was just like a little different. Like that drive just isn't the same. But yeah, like you said, like I feel like my why is just, for example, we can chop this up or whatever.
No
but yeah, like I remember after the Olympics, like showing up to a tournament and then like losing to a kid I would never lose to. So maybe it's a little bit of ego. Like I just hate losing to people that, like, in my opinion, like I know I can do better than. So whenever I'm in that super high, it just takes a couple of bad losses to get me back in the zone, I think.
It's good.
Which is, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Hopefully my ideal would just to be able to stay there, but I guess I go through those low points to push me to the next level.
Hey man, it's a self-correcting system. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's a journey. I have all the confidence in the world that you're gonna be able to find and play these games and add things to your mental game, and you'll find a way to perform that high level. Like you're a smart guy, you'll figure it out. But yeah, no, it's good to hear that you're able to turn that loss back into motivation. I think for some people it might shoot them down, right? And you get, instead of one bad loss and then coming back, it's maybe one bad loss turns into 2, turns into 3, turns into 4, and then you have to make direct elimination to feel something again. I'm kidding. But,
go with a name drop. Look at the face you're making.
No, but
I don't know who you could be talking about. I still haven't lost.
No, all that to
You
say,
definitely haven't lost.
all that to say, I have confidence in you. You're gonna be fine.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it.
And we all rooting for each other. Like,
Yeah,
after every
absolutely.
tournament, I'm watching all your bouts. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
So it's like a cultural event. Like, it's actually pretty rare, and I think it's really important to have people like really root for you and cheer you on in fencing, because it can be difficult. Like I'm sure you have teammates who like don't necessarily always want you to.
It's an individual
to
sport.
win. So it's good. Like I'm glad I got you two. So
Yeah.
I feel like we really want all of us to succeed. So it's cool, special.
No, it is really special, and it is cool to feel the support and at any level. Like it's just fun to remember that we do have these connections and bonds, even after like everyone's doing what they can at the level that they're at, right? So you're going and you're competing for, let's say, a World Cup or Grand Prix gold, but like I'm coming back from some injuries and I'm not qualified for any international competitions, but I do well at a national competition and I get support from like you, Lee, Garrick, people that I know have better things to focus on than Division I men's epee at the July challenge. But the fact that I'm getting, you know, any type of anything, it just, and same thing with, I remember Justin Yu, our friend, made a second day a couple years ago, and he had made a bunch of day twos at that point, or maybe not a bunch, but he was coming off like 16, 32, whatever. And then he made a day two, and I was texting him like, good job, congrats. And he said, no one even congratulates me for making a day two anymore. And I was like, bro, you worked to get there, didn't you? You had to win, you had to compete. So why not get, you know, someone cheering for you in your corner? So I do agree. It is special, and it's challenging because I think people forget, you know, people just got so accustomed maybe to you performing well that they forget that you have highs and lows in your career regardless, you know, like, you know, 16s, if for you is something challenging because you're showing up to win every tournament, right? Yeah. For us, we'd love to make like a 9th place at a World Cup, but there are levels to this. For you, I know that that's really challenging because fencing for you is at a different level than it is for Steven and I right now. And that's why we understand, like, okay, this guy lost in the top 16. He's probably pretty upset with this result. So let's be there for him. And that's, you know, conversely, when you're winning, we're extra excited.
But you also did come back from like 2 serious injuries. I feel like that's why we're all so hyped to see you back.
Oh, absolutely.
On that. That was impressive, man. Like, no matter who you are,
I appreciate
coming back from 2 serious injuries, like game-changing injuries, to come back and medal is pretty cool.
I appreciate that. It's really fun. We're going to do it more and more and more. Yeah.
More and more injuries?
No. Inshallah, no more injuries. More and more and more success for everyone. But I think that's a pretty good drive for your why. I think that, you know, having any type of northern light to chase after and to push you and motivate you is important, whether it's in outcome or process. And I think that everyone has their own motivation, and seeing you be able to channel yours and find success is awesome. Next question, though, is a little bit different. No results here. We'd like to ask you about something you brought up earlier with your dad, is why you started fencing. Yeah. So he's been your primary coach your whole life. I know you work with some other coaches throughout your time at Notre Dame, and you also work with a coach named Igor Zapatzayev at LA right now, and for quite a few years at this point. But what is it like having your dad be your coach and the guy kind of, you know, shaping your career for the most part? And you know, there's a common occurrence of coach student being a parent and child relationship, and sometimes there's more tension, sometimes there's less. And just if you don't mind elaborating on that, and you know, how you guys navigate that process.
I mean, it's obviously difficult, but also like unique and special at the same time. I feel like the difficult part for me is like, if let's say you have a bad practice or whatever, like something doesn't go right in training, normally you guys go home, you talk to your mom and dad, it's like you're talking about, I don't know, dinner or whatever. But like for me, that will carry on through the whole day, obviously. So like, that's like one big change. I think is fencing is being talked about like basically like all day. And I feel like it's different for me. Like I know Alex was talking about this. Like Alex and his dad, if they're at home, like they'll never talk about like fencing really. It's actually pretty cool. Like it's really hard to do, but I think he like, from what I can tell, like they like stay true to that. But I feel like me and my dad both have like very big, like we're like kind of stubborn, maybe a little, both got like our ego a little bit. So like, for example, I'll like say something, I'll be like, whatever, some action or something. I think we should do it like this. And my dad maybe we'll adjust or something, but he'll never just like agree. Like
Never let you have that.
Yeah, no shot. So like, let's say he thinks I'm trying to do something. I'll be like, no, I think we can try to do something better or like something different. Like another coach will like listen and maybe adjust or something. Like, no, it's both of us think either this way or this way. So I'm trying to get better at like getting that closer to like maybe adjusting so he can hear me out. But yeah, it's just special. We fight a lot. Everyone can see that, but it's all love. Like that's just how it is.
I see you guys embracing in your biggest wins, and honestly, that comes to my mind a lot more than any type of, anything else that anyone might have seen on the strip. Like I remember when I'm trying to think, maybe when you won Junior Worlds, that was like the first time I really saw you and your dad like fully like embrace after a win. And then since then, he's been there for all your biggest wins, right?
I mean, like the most important thing I think as a trip coach is just to motivate you and hype you up and making you want to win for them, right? So I feel like that's honestly the most important. Of course, especially when you're younger, there's like, what to do.
Yeah.
But at some point, it's just like, making you feel good.
And
him cheering, like it works for me.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to see that.
That's great.
Yeah, that is great.
Do you want to do a bit?
Yeah, let's do a bit.
Let's do a bit.
Yeah, let's do something
Nikita,
fun.
we spoiled what we've brought. Would you prefer sweet or salty first?
I feel like sweet. I'm feeling
All
sweet.
right,
Okay.
let's go sweet.
So Nikita has graced our presence. So we didn't just spoil this. He didn't let me pay for this. So Nikita actually brought this bit to
our newest
the
sponsor.
podcast.
Yeah,
our newest
good.
Our newest sponsor, the Nuts Factory.
Yeah.
Eat good, feel good. So
New sponsor of Direct Elimination.
Yeah, we're trying some Dubai chocolate.
I'd
wow,
love to try.
holy
I've never
cow.
tried it either, but I said it's the real
Wow,
deal.
this is fully gold. Okay.
Yeah, they're not paying us.
Wow. Okay. Nikita,
let's
you
pass it
start us
over.
off. I think you just break off a piece and then just
Get in there.
get in there.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah.
that's soft.
Oh, that is creamy stuff.
Wow.
Bro.
Ari, get in
My
there.
thorn. Oh my God.
You hear that ASMR, guys?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
ASMR.
We do that every time.
Oh, that's actually really good.
Oh no, this is difficult.
All right,
We should have got napkins, but that is really good. I've had Dubai chocolate, spoiler, but I'll have it again.
I don't know why I kind of wanted to hate on it, but it's actually really good.
Have some more.
No, this is great. Wow.
The pistachio filling is really good because it's like crunchy. It's not just smooth and creamy.
But it's not
we
like
have these great pure gloves to wipe our hands after.
That's why we brought
You
these
sound like an-
absolute gloves.
Yeah, you sound like an absolute
That's
athlete.
a turf war right here.
No,
Wow.
The crunch is good because it's not like the way you think of a nutty crunch, like very like effortful to chew, like it's a soft crunch. You want some more?
You're spitting, but no, I'm good. Thank you.
I think
You
I'm
could
good.
sell some. You could sell some product.
Steven, you should
If
go work for the
anybody
Nut
has-
Factory.
I'm not gonna say what I want to say.
Yeah. The more we say, though, the more
effort
I
on
have to
Ari's
cut.
part.
So I'm not cutting any of this.
Yeah, I'm not
Good.
No, if anybody has any products they would like promoted or tested on this show, we would be more than happy to do that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if
honestly.
any, yeah.
That was pretty yummy.
That was pretty yummy. Thanks, Nick.
This is the real question, though. Is it worth the $20 that you paid for it?
$20.
Yeah, this is viral chocolate. Why
You
would
know-
it go for any less than $20? Although I saw it for 18 somewhere.
You know, once in a while, I think that's worth $20. Maybe not
How?
part of your
Okay.
weekly groceries, but
Would you eat that once a year for $20?
without a doubt.
Okay. What about you, Nikita?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. It is really good. I'm enjoying it.
And we, we had something to do for the last 5 minutes. other
Yeah,
than
yeah,
talk
it's
about
good.
fence.
It was a good bit.
That's a new record for us. 5 minutes without talking about fencing.
Yeah, okay. But back to fencing.
All right. So what are you up to these days? This is unique in that we also want to talk about, the post-college professional life of fencing. And for you, it's fencing as a profession.
Yeah.
So what has that experience been like? Ari and I could only dream of this experience. Is it stressful, rewarding? How is it materialized for you? What's it like to live the dream, really?
No, I mean, like, I'm super grateful to be able to live like this, because I don't think I'd be able to like succeed in my sport without that. Because I take every like part of it as serious as possible, like any other professional athlete out there in basketball or soccer or whatever. I try to mimic that like professionality as close as possible. I know like younger we could get away with doing a bunch of stuff and then just going to training or whatever, but I try to train my body and my mind as much as possible. So I train twice a day, like Monday through Friday. I have like a personal conditioning trainer, and I have private lessons in the morning, and then mostly bouting in the evening, and a lot of traveling for training camps or going to a World Cup early to make sure I adjust to time change and things like that. I think those are all benefits that I'm very, very lucky to have. Than if I was working at a job and grinding both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think the reason we want to highlight it is because honestly, I think Ferris is also a pro fencer.
Right.
We could have asked him about it.
We didn't speak to him much about it. We
but
had other stuff.
Yeah, part of this podcast is to highlight not just the passion that we all share for the sport, but also the potential avenues that someone could take to stay involved with the sport after high school, after college. And, there's all that stuff. There's coaching, there's trying to be semi-pro, like what Steven and I are doing. There's just doing it casually and enjoying the sport. There's hanging up the cleats and coming back to it years later or never coming back. And, the most desirable, it seems, for a lot of people would be this pro life. So I guess a question for you would be, obviously the biggest pro is that you can fully focus on this and becoming the most optimal version of Nikita the athlete. What would you say the biggest con or challenge of being a pro athlete, specifically in the sport of fencing, is?
I guess for most other people, I think if you have a lot of other stuff going on, you don't put so much pressure on fencing maybe. So if you have a job and fencing isn't going well, you kind of rely on your job, or you rely on schoolwork if we're at Notre Dame or something. So I guess that is one downside. If fencing's going bad, then kind of like everything's going bad, right? Like even like Olympic committee, like salary wise, you get a bad result, ranking goes down, your salary goes down. So it's kind of like your whole life kind of is affected by it. But the way I see it, like I signed up for this, like this is what I want, and that's part of it. Like life is good when you win, and then you got to get your mind back when tournaments aren't going your way to get back up there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good perspective.
Yeah.
And I think that I just keep coming back to it. Ferris for Johnny, you can't get out of my head, man. 100%. You're going 100% into it, and no regrets. You signed up for it, and I think that's why you do so well. Because amongst a lot of other reasons, but you committed to it, and you understand that there's going to be ups and downs, and you got to lose some to win some. Mm-hmm. I think I like that.
No, it's also, I think you have a very good perspective in that whatever life you choose or whatever a life materializes for you, whether it's choosing certain positions or choosing a certain life path, like everything's just trade-offs, right? Like that, you pointed out the volatility of like results affecting salary or, your sense of accomplishment or whatever it is, right? But everything comes with trade-offs, right? Sure. If you're picking one industry to get into versus another, it might be pay versus work-life balance, right? I think it's important to surrender to that and to just figure out which categories are the most important to you, and then choose a life or choose a path that sits well with those categories. So I think it's a good perspective to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there is like that extra free time, like what you guys are doing, like coming up with new cool stuff like this for the sport is important. So I feel like me and Ari and Steven are like always trying to think of new ideas to do, whether it's running a camp somewhere or like starting my own foundation or whatever it could be. I feel like the sport gives you a lot of opportunities, so I'm just trying to take full advantage of that because you never know when that can be taken away.
I think you're doing an extra good job right now. Very recently, you started the Itkin Foundation, which we'll ask you to explain what that is in a second. And you are going to be hosting your first SYC this year, the Super Youth Circuit, right?
That's awesome.
Is that public information?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't even have to cut it out.
We don't have to cut that out. You are becoming a larger presence on, collaborations with other creators.
Bruce Lee.
The Bruce Lee Foundation.
The craziest thing I've ever seen.
Then also there was how 3 people would fare against an Olympic fencer. That was a really good one. And just in general, like, you're starting to really break out of the shell and sphere of just fencing. You're starting to transcend the traditional fencing experience. And I think that's really huge because it makes fencing cool. Yeah. There are a lot of people really trying and really working on it, and we're all pushing to whatever level we can. And I think you're doing a really good job of breaking out of that bubble. So I totally agree with you.
Thanks, man.
That brings us back, though. What's the Itkin Foundation, and what does it mean to you?
Yeah.
This is a good pitch.
I was about to answer a bunch of random stuff first.
You can answer in whatever order you want.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, like, I feel like fencing is like your name is forgotten kind of quick. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, like, I feel like if you think about fencers, like, if you name a really good fencer from like 8-10 years ago to like a young kid, they'll have no idea who it is, which is like crazy. Yeah,
there's a guy that we know who didn't know who the Rio Olympic champion was.
Exactly.
And it's been less than 10 years. Yeah. And he was at a Senior World Cup, and he was about to fence. If he won his DE, he would have fenced Park Sang-young, Rio Olympic champion, and asked us, who's Park Sang-young? Is he good? And I said, get at it. How are you at a Senior World Cup right now? Go home.
So while the Olympics is still high, or the next one is coming up soon, I'm just trying to take full advantage of, all the things I wanted to do in the sport. And also, grow the sport. I feel like that's all of our jobs. We think fencing is, pretty legit. So we want people to respect it and not just think it's like some sword fighting, like random thing. But to think it's like legit and cool and put on for the sport. But for my foundation, I feel like I was inspired by a lot of stuff that's going on in New York, like the Peter Westbrook or Nzinga. And I was talking to a lot of people in U.S. fencing who were, helping and pushing me. And I think there's really nothing on the West Coast at all. And LA is such a big city, which could really, really help out a lot of kids with this foundation. And really is just to hopefully change some kids' lives and bring fencing into a whole new crowd of people in LA. And I know how, expensive fencing can be, especially for people who are already traveling and competing and trying to take it seriously. So what we're doing is, we're putting up these free Sunday classes every now and then, so people can come totally for free and train and learn how to fence. And then if they want to take it really seriously, we'll get the donations money, and that money will be sent just for them to train full time or travel, equipment, whatever they need.
That's awesome. So really mimicking a lot of the stuff on the East Coast.
Yeah, of course. I was super inspired.
We need it. We need it. The more, the merrier, because there's so much that this sport has given all of us that, like you said, it's changed our lives. It's opened up doors. You mentioned it. You wouldn't have gotten into Notre Dame without fencing. I would have never gotten to Notre Dame without fencing. What about you?
I don't know.
All right, smart
Didn't
guy.
have to worry
He
about
was
that.
smart.
All right,
He was
smart guy. All right, smart guy. Anyways.
You were smart too. Shut up.
You were going to Ivy League schools.
shut up.
I wouldn't have gotten there without fencing either.
Dude.
No,
you
trust.
Had your APs and your early graduation, and don't lie to the people.
Do I look smart to you guys?
It's not a bad thing to get good grades.
It's not
No,
dude.
I didn't get good grades. I'm
You got
telling
good
you.
grades. He's lying.
I'm gonna pull
up the transcripts.
show us the transcripts before the next episode of Direct Elimination, I will look for my high school transcript.
All right.
They weren't bad grades, but
All right. That now
they
it
weren't
comes
good
out.
grades. I had a lot of C's.
We'll see. We'll see.
So we're the same.
Yeah. Point being, definitely would have gotten to Notre Dame without fencing. I'm telling you.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And it's changed some lives, and it's changed a lot of the people we know's lives. And I think to pay that forward is, in some ways, our responsibility, but in many ways, it's a good deed. So
I mean, people think it's cool. That's the thing. Like everyone I've talked to that either watch the Olympics or figure out like what I do, they think it's really cool.
Yeah.
So it's not about people like not liking it. It's about for people to first of all see it and to understand what's going on. I think that's the problem. Is like
that is
they
the
just
issue.
see it, they see 2 lights on, they don't know what's going on. Someone got a point. But other than that, like everyone loves it. They love the yelling, the attention, like the drama, how quick it is.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that.
And if they try it, they don't even care about the drama. They're just doing it is so fun.
It's
I
such
taught
fun.
someone how to
Yeah.
fence at
there
LAIFC
you go.
yesterday. The host of the podcast that I was on, and I texted her today saying, "Thank you for hosting me. This was great." And she said, "Thanks. I can't wait till the next time I fence. I'm still thinking about it."
Yeah.
Because it is unique. It I think is an elite sport simply by virtue of the fact that you get so many of the things that you get from all these other sports with regards to, athleticism, explosiveness, power, cunning. You have to have strategy, mobility, blah, 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 all that stuff. And the thing that sets it apart from the other sports where you get that, like, football, boxing, any MMA related sport, is that you can just keep doing it over and over again until you're 80 plus. There's no risk relative to the other sports of injury, of brain trauma, of all this stuff. You can just keep doing it. You can get absolutely destroyed for an entire day, an entire week of practice. Just like get your stuff wrecked. And then you could just keep fencing.
Yeah.
You're fine. You do that in boxing, you just keep getting hit in the face
Going to
over and
the
over and
hospital,
over and over again for 2 weeks straight. You're not going to talk the
people-
same no more. It's going to be different, right? But fencing is not the case. And it's special because you get to experience all those thrills and the ego and the ups and downs, and you're better for it. And you're not damaged.
I mean, everyone who's like involved in fencing, like they obviously like immediately, I feel like had like a fall in love with the sport thing. So like my biggest pet peeves, like you tell a taxi driver or something, like what do, you say fencer, and they have no idea what you're talking about, and then you have to like, oh yeah, I play soccer. You just lie at some point.
I just show them
I tried to
pictures.
explain.
I
They're
show
like,
pictures.
oh, Pirates of the Caribbean. And I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Like, don't even keep talking. That's like my biggest pet peeve. Because I remember when I was a little kid, like if I try to tell people I'm going to fencing practice, they would think that's so weird.
Yeah,
and like I would literally do the same thing. I'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to soccer practice. But like now, people think it's cool, which is awesome. Now like I take that to my chest. Like, what do you do? I'm a fencer, and like they'll think it's like the coolest thing. So I could see the change coming, and I think even the next few years it's gonna be like an even bigger boom. Like with the Olympics,
absolutely.
like that'd be really, and like the dream is for like a little kid to say like I'm a fencer and be like, oh that's cool, and then like that's normal.
Yeah. A kid to show up to school with their strip bag, and all the kids are like, oh, I want to go to
this
fencing
dude's
practice.
dope. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
That'd be great.
So that was a really good. I just
nice-
like that tangent. That entire convo is great. Going back to your journey a little bit, Nikita, or Nick, excuse me. He's Nick to you
No, you
guys.
can do whatever you want.
He's Nikita to us, though.
Zeke.
We talked to Bryce, your teammate from both LAIFC, kind of a little brother to you, as well as on the U.S. national team, currently the newest member of the senior men's foil team. And we asked him what it was like to break into the ranking of this legendary senior squad. And he gave us a pretty good answer, but if you go back a couple years, you weren't a member of that squad that he broke into, and you were in the same situation of breaking into, in some ways, an even more legendary squad of the Race, Miles, Alex, and Garrick, like the team that had been together for so many years. And you talked about it earlier on this interview, those are the guys that you had to beat if you wanted to make fencing your thing, if you wanted to make it the way that you eat, right? And what was that like for you, you know, when you realized I'm up here with these guys? Not only am I competing against them, but they respect me like one of them, and I'm out here beating them. I'm here motivating them with my results. Like they respect me. I'm on the God squad. What did that feel like?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like I looked up to them on a pedestal growing up the whole time. They won, I think the year before I made the team, they won every single team tournament
Except
that whole
Worlds.
year except
Yeah,
Worlds.
I remember
So
that.
like it's literally like a legendary team.
Mm-hmm.
So like to make that team, like you can't just like get like one like decent result. Like you have to like I had to win CIP to make that team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get second in Shanghai.
Yeah.
There were like a whole bunch
even
of
even if I
legendary.
just won CP, that
Yeah.
probably wasn't even enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they're the ones who pushed me to like make it to that level. And yeah, I feel like when I was just a little kid, just being around them, I was just taking everything in, like learning everything, the way they talk about fencing and everything. But I do remember like medaling at a World Cup and them like, you know, taking me in and, you know, going out like afterwards and like things like that. Like I just remember being like a sponge, just trying to take like all the information they have and the way they see the sport. Because I feel like that's just something like the way I grew to fencing, I don't think you're never going to hear something like one thing that's just going to change everything. I think it's just like taking a bunch of different stuff from different people, whether that's fencing styles or ideas or like the way you think about something. So that's like those are like perfect role models to like listen to really everything they say and try to grow from them.
Yeah. Do you ever think back? Because I mean, Ferris, actually, I keep bringing up Ferris. I might be in love with him. Who knows? He mentioned a distinct memory of his that he loved was when he used to train with the seniors in his country of Tunisia. And I remember this too. When I was younger and I used to get a chance to fence senior fencers, I knew I would lose, but my goal was to do as well as I could. If I got 9 last time and I can get 11 this time, that's a huge win for me. And I'd give that 100%. And, you know, it's freeing. And it's something that we don't get to experience that much anymore. And you definitely don't get to experience that anymore. There's no one on earth that you feel that if you gave it your all, you couldn't beat. I know that for a fact. Mm-hmm. So do you ever think back to the moments when you were a younger version of yourself and you just were in that situation of, I wish I could be a part of that group? Like, do you ever give yourself that perspective and go back?
I mean, I honestly think that's like where you grow from the most is like those bouts where you're getting killed because you can't just get away with doing the same stuff that you're doing. Mm-hmm. So like, I feel like I get comfortable. Sometimes I'll just fence, you know, my teammates will fence all day. I'll just do the same actions and win easily like that. Or you go somewhere where people changing all the time. I feel like that's the big difference from junior and senior fencing is like, I'll do one action in juniors and it's good. I'll just stick with that and it'll work. But in seniors, like everyone's changing all the time. So it's just like constant battles of like adjusting this and that and that. So I just remember like Race especially and Alex, or Garrick too, but they used to like totally kick my ass, like embarrassing scores in practice, like really embarrassing. But that's really what took me to the next level because I had to come up with something like different than what I'm doing to be able to score on them. And that stuff will carry on to whoever else you're going to fence in the future.
Yeah.
It's good. The idols trained you to become their rival. And yeah. It's a good training arc.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, they're not necessarily rivals, they're teammates.
Well, okay, the saying
Why
is...
are you changing the narrative?
I'm using a saying.
So before we go to the next segment, I think we should be eating some seagrass.
Nikita, I know this is one of your favorite things. So
we couldn't procure regular grass.
He's
our resident cow.
Inside joke.
So
I
here
don't
we
know
have...
if you, I don't know if you keep track of where your seaweed is sourced from, but this one is Korean.
Okay.
That's no, you prefer Taiwanese, right? But
I don't know.
Oily.
Wherever Costco gets theirs from. This is actually a pretty good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is really good. You know it's good when there's like oil dripping out of it.
Yeah. Healthy.
Good seaweed, Steven.
Facts.
This brings me back to like freshman year on the lawn.
You guys ever got really lazy of like eating one by one and just got
No.
a whole bunch in your mouth?
It detracts from the experience.
For you.
Okay, this is far.
Give it a nice ASMR, Nikita.
I actually got a request from a fan to not do this anymore, so I want to do it more. A fan. We got fans.
When you get your seaweed, usually, do you do like the original or the flavored ones? What's the secret?
What flavors?
I don't know. I don't think I've tried flavor.
Yeah, I don't, what type of flavors are there, Steven? I just thought it was seaweed flavor and other seaweed
Well,
flavors.
There's wasabi, mate. I think
Yeah,
I tried
there's wasabi. There was some other ones at the store, but I just got the original.
We're gonna have to
Coward.
experiment then.
We're gonna have to go back.
For the Nikita Part 2 episode.
Mm-hmm.
So
Freshman year long.
while you're munching on that, the last segment of our show was called One Light Answers. We know you like one light touches. One Light Answers represents just saying the first thing that comes to your mind with these rapid fire questions. Oh my God.
Dude.
Are you okay? Do you need
Water.
Okay.
It got stuck to the roof of my mouth and the back of my throat.
All right.
It was kind of unpleasant.
I'm not cutting this. This part's not getting cut.
Good.
Okay. There we go. Oh my God, friendship.
Eat it.
This is the friendship
Eat it.
episode. So Steve and I are just going to take turns asking you questions, and
Lord.
we just need to hear the first thing that comes to your mind. All right?
Grass.
There we go. You're already ready. All right.
$5, please.
Who are your two favorite fencers?
Ota and Baldini.
Ooh, good ones.
What's the favorite city you've ever been to for fencing?
Competition wise, Paris, city, Cuba, Havana.
Ooh.
Nice.
What's in your equipment bag that probably shouldn't be?
Probably shouldn't be. Like 15 t-shirts day of a tournament.
You just like throw everything in there?
No, I switch every single bout of fence. I switch a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen that actually. I kind of like that strategy.
It's a good strat. Who's the most challenging bout you've ever fenced?
Challenging bout.
Practice or tournament.
Growing up for sure, Garrick was impossible. Like if Garrick's feeling himself in practice, it's like
Cooked.
fencing like I don't know, it's next level.
A titan.
Yeah. He's like hitting you behind the back, and then you're like, okay, well.
If you had to be replaced in an important fencing bout by Steven or me, who has the better chance of winning the bout? Oh, come on. This one's easy. You beat me 15-0 in foil once. Come on.
I would say Steven just because he's like, you fence kind of like a foil fencer, which I don't think will work. I think
Okay.
you need to just be weird and doing random, like
Okay.
more stuff. So I'd say Steven.
Yes.
You're weird.
I'll
And do
take
For a
random
foil
stuff.
fencer, but for FA,
Take
it's
it.
normal.
If some friends come over to my place at 5 p.m. to drink and hang out, is that a dinner or a darty?
That's a phenomenal question. Shout out for whoever thought of that question. It can be both.
It can be both. Whoa, this is a change in the
Oh.
narrative.
Okay.
I love it. We're finally getting some answers.
Unlimited seaweed or unlimited pickle?
Unlimited pickle.
Vehicle. Who is your greatest influence in your career, and why was it Professor Thomas Murillo?
It was definitely Professor Thomas Murillo because one day me and Steven are online in Zoom, and Steven was feeling himself, like really, really feeling himself. I don't know what got
What class
into
was
that
this?
day.
What class was this?
It was Russian 101. So
All right.
I'm fluent in Russian. Russian was my first language, but I never really learned how to read or write. So I'm taking Russian 1 with Steven.
English too.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, facts. I'm taking Russian 1, and the thing is like this is over Zoom. This was like during COVID, I think.
Yep.
And it was like the thing was like I think it said say any sentence you want, but start with I want. First thing Steven says in front of the whole class was like I want. I lose it. But the thing is, the professor doesn't care at all. He's like, phenomenal, great. I want great job. Next thing he says, I went to and the professor goes, great sentence. And he keeps going the whole day, and no one cut him off. I have videos of this. It was like really, really inspirational content that Steven was making back then.
I forgot about those, actually.
To the extent that your bouts were televised on YouTube, you've been surrounded by a fair bit of controversy in the comment section with lies and slander. Namely, we've heard that you're actually 5'8" and that you wear a wig. Do you plan on addressing these downright lies at any point? And if so, how will you get the commentators to stop saying you're 6'2"?
I don't know. It might be truth, might be a rumor. I don't know. We're just gonna let the public figure it out.
We
for
all know the
themselves.
truth. We all know
Yeah.
the truth.
It could be a wig. I don't know. My dad's bald, so it's possible.
True. Final question: what is your favorite piece of Prior equipment?
Shout out Team Absolute.
Hey, that's a
all
good answer. All right.
Nikita, thank you so much for taking the time, coming and being on the show. I'm glad we had a good time with that. It's been good to get into your head, see how your life's going. Best of luck at all the future.
I wanted to ask you one last question.
Never mind.
Flip the script. Let's hear
Steven, could you please explain the mask that was inside your locker at Notre Dame?
Oh yeah. So we, when I would make when I was making junior teams back at when I was at school, every year you get a brand new mask, and I would use that throughout the year at practice. It would get really gross and like sweaty, and so when I get a new one, it was time to change practice masks. And so we had this mask that whenever you had a bad day at practice, you were allowed to go in my locker and grab the mask and just throw it on the floor, step on it, jump on it, kick it. It was great. And Nikita used it a fair number of times.
I think that's what every kid should do.
What?
Go find Steven, ask for his mask.
What was the most heinous? We might have to cut this. What was the most heinous thing that happened to this poor mask?
Oh God, I don't know. Honestly, just a lot of throwing and scene. You good?
I'm good.
We're good. All right. Nikita, thank you so much, really, for coming and being on this. We had a great time.
I love it.
All right, my turn, Steven. You
I
lost the
thank you.
reins. You lost.
I didn't do anything. Look,
Nikita, thank you so much
he
for
lost
being.
the seat. It's not even the reins.
I'm done.
The sled dog is running away.
All right,
I'm done.
Nikita, thanks for joining us on this episode. I think that this was maybe our least formal episode, which is good. I'm glad we got a laugh together. Seriously, it's important to have friends that you're able to enjoy moments with like this. And on top of that, your mentality, your journey has been so inspiring, not just for the fencing community around the world, but honestly for us too. And we're always rooting for you. And I love seeing your success, and hearing about how you get there never ceases to amaze me. And I can't wait to see the next medal around your neck. Seriously, thanks for coming.
Hope we can have you
Appreciate
back.
it.
You're crying, dude.
I'll be rooting for you guys as well. Thank you.
Congrats.
Guys.
Thank you.
Go Irish.
Go Irish.
All right.
Be sure to visit the Prior USA shop to buy some sick equipment just like these guys.
Yeah. Follow, like, share, and subscribe for more episodes just like this one.